a lot of the need for the draft comes from the quality of soldiers. Currently the Army is either just meeting their target goal or maybe a little over, maybe a little under, but unfortunately the way that they're doing this is by lowering the standard. On September 25th, 2005, the Defense Department released DoD Instruction 1145, which allows 4% of each year's recruits be Category 4 applicants, up from the 2% limit that had been set in place since the mid-1980s. Even so, in October, the Army had such a hard time filling slots, the floodgates had to be opened, and 12% of that month's active duty recruits were Category 4. Now, Category 4 refers to the Army, the AFQT, it's a test that every recruit must take. It basically, the categories are 5, 4, 3A, or 3B, 3A, 2, and 1. Category 1 are people who score in the 90 to 99 percentile. Category 2 are something like 80 to 66. 3A is like 50 to 66. 3B goes, I forget, something like 3B is like 50 to 40. Category 4 are from the 20th to, I want to say, mid-40th percentile. Now, normally, since the 80s, 2% of the people who've made this grade on this qualifying test have gotten in, but much more are getting in. Now, this is significant because replacing a tank gunner who scored a Category 4 on the aptitude test ranking. Oh, yeah, I have it here. In the 10 to 30 percentile, replacing Category 4 with one who scored a Category 3A, replacing a Category 4 with a Category 3A improved the chances of hitting targets by 34%. There's another thing that I don't have quoted, but I had from the same article. It had basically. This guy is referring to a report about various tests that were given to the different category recipients on the test. It shows the efficiency of the different categories. One of the things that they had to do was take out 10 targets using so many Patriot missiles. Category 1's averaged 20 missiles. Categories 2 were 22. Category 4 averaged 24 missiles. Patriot missiles. Each Patriot missile is $2 million. So this increase in these Category 4 soldiers is very, very inefficient for the Army. It's not that they're incapable soldiers, it's just that they're more efficient soldiers. With a draft, we could tap into very unclaimed resources. The U.S. Census Bureau reported projected in 2008 that there would be 18 million college students. 37% of those were older than 25, leaving over 13 million perfectly, in that perfect 18 to 25-ish area. Great for the Army. These people would certainly get at least Category 3A, probably Category 3-2s and Category 1s. This would greatly improve the Army. It's not that people have to go into the Army and become killing machines and fire missiles and shoot tanks. With a draft, there could also be nonviolent roles. In Germany, their national conscription is, I have a citation for this somewhere. In Germany, basically, people can, their draft does not, it's more, they're drafted into servicemen, which does not necessarily necessitate military servicemen. They can also be put into humanitarian roles. There's also to talk more about the positive externalities that the draft would bring. The military in and of itself, it gets, well, in 2006, it got $2.84 trillion, 2007 to $2.79 trillion, 2008, $2.94 trillion, 2009 that went down to 2.92. It's projected to go up to $3 trillion next year. And that comes from the National Defense budget from defenselink.mil. The government's spending all this money in there. Now, that much money, it's no matter how it gets spent, it's going to produce something. It's going to help people. In the 60s, the Army has been getting lots of, it's not just a new thing that the Army's been getting a huge amount of money. In the 60s, the government basically began creating the internet for creating a better way to exchange information. This I have from enotes.com, a history fact finder. It was created in the late 1960s so that the U.S. Department of Defense could share information with one another and other researchers. We see now that it has evolved to a major information superhighway that has greatly impacted America. And that is all I have to say for right now.